Hello, good morning, afternoon, or otherwise. Today we will be going over things you need to know if you're switching back to in-person schooling from virtual. First thing you need to know is Edmentum is canceled. There is no more Edmentum for you, no more Plato, well, unless you're in credit recovery, but that's a different thing. So the site you need to know is this one right here. It is mingoboe.mrooms.net. You should also have a shortcut on your desktop of your student computer that will allow you to get right there, or you can also log in through Clever. Um, if you hear it mentioned, it goes by many names. Some people call it Moodle, Blackboard, Blackboard LMS, Open LMS, or Open LMS Snap, which I think is the proper name for it. The underlined word here, Open LMS, is the official name for it, as you can see on the county page here. So typing in this will lead you to this web page right here, and you're just going to want to click Login. Okay, and upon reaching this stage, after you click Login, you'll see this screen. Your username and password for this site only is different, of course, because of course it is, right? Your username is going to be your school email, all of it, and your password is going to be your email again, all of it all the way through to k12.wv.us, but you have to capitalize the first letter. So for instance, if I was going to be doing Blackboard, my email is jarriffle@k12.wfv.us. My password then would be capital J, little a, riffle, and all the rest of it. To do it quickly, you can just do a copy and paste and then go back and capitalize the first letter. That works really well. Okay, so upon logging into Blackboard, this is going to be where all your teachers post all their assignments, videos, things like that. You'll see this. Now, some teachers have theirs set up by week, as you'll see here, this class does, or they could be set up by topic. Now, depending on whether or not your class is set up by topic or date, you may see them under two different tabs. Once you get to the Home tab, you'll see one that says Classes, and then you'll also see one that says 2020. Now in this picture, I'm actually one page past that. I've already clicked on a class, in this case, English Language 9. But in the previous screen, it has these two tabs. So if you don't see your class, don't freak out. It's probably just on the other tab, because if your teacher organizes it by date, it will appear under 2020, and if it's organized by topic, it will appear under classes. As you can see here, you'll receive a green check mark whenever you complete a week or a task or anything that's assigned there. But you want to make sure that you actually turn in the assignment that you were supposed to complete it, because it doesn't always check to make sure that you completed your assignment before it gives you a green check. So make sure you read thoroughly and do everything that you're supposed to do, so that way you don't get into a situation later on where you have a green check mark and it turns out you actually have a 0 because you didn't do the assignment that was, at the end of the lesson there. So make sure you read thoroughly and do everything you're supposed to do and stay in contact with your teachers so that you don't get behind. So here's an example of what you might see. This is an example of Mr. Soltez's band class. As you can see, he does it a little differently. He has his set to one page, and he posts everything on that page, and you have to scroll down to find the week's assignments and such, and then he archives them later. So just be aware of that. So even though there's a green check mark here from last week, this is an example of one of those times where, because of the way the class is set up, you may still need to make sure that you're reading carefully and staying on top of what it's actually saying. Don't just see the green check mark and say, oh, I don't have to do anything. make sure you're actually checking up on that class because there should be new content every week. Okay, so here is a very useful tool. If you scroll down to the bottom past it, all of the weeks and lessons, you'll see a thing called Class Tools. Okay, and when you click on that, it will show you a progress bar. But again, that's based on the green check mark, so that's not exactly 100% accurate depending on what you have and haven't turned in yet. You always want to use live grades as the final determining factor as to whether or not you turn something in or not and what your actual grade is. So once you click on Class Tools, you'll see all of this, and you can get to your grade book right there. And you also have a very important feature down here. You can message your teacher by clicking right here. Once you click the messaging feature, if you need to contact your teacher, this is a very easy way to contact your teachers. You can type a message and hit send over here, I think, and it acts just like an instant message as it would over, say, Facebook Messenger or any kind of text message like that. And they'll receive a notification that you've messaged them, and it might be a little more convenient than emailing for some of you. Okay, so let's talk about live grades for a second. Live grades, if you go to livegrades.com and click student and parent login, and your username is your student number, your lunch number, and your password, there's no common password for all of these. So if you don't know your password, any of your teachers can look that up for you, or a counselor, or even myself if you need to call. But that will be another way that you can stay in contact with your teachers, and also a way that you can keep track of what grade you have at all times. So up here in the upper right-hand corner, if you click on System, under that you will see Message Center. And the Message Center will give you a view that looks like this. And you can create a message. And from there, you can choose who it goes to, and it works essentially just like an emailing system. And you can also pull up messages that you've sent. So if you want to make sure that your message actually did go through, you can click here, and it will show you. It will show you what the any messages that you've sent from your account. So this is what it looks like when after you click Create Message. You always want to put a subject line so that the teacher can easily see what you're talking about, and you want to make sure under the Faculty tab you should see checkboxes for any teachers that you currently have. And then down here, of course, you can compose your message. And if you need to attach a file like an assignment, you can go down here and click Choose File, and then navigate to wherever that file is stored and attach the file that way. If it's stored on OneDrive, you may have to download it from OneDrive to your computer first in the Downloads directory and then attach it. I'm not 100% sure on that, but that seems like that would probably happen. I don't think you can attach from a cloud storage location. And after that, just click Send. Now, here's a introduction to your email. If you're not familiar with that yet, this URL here will take you to your email. You'll have to sign in one time. If you're using Microsoft Edge and you're on one of the newer laptops, I believe it will already be signed in for you. But if not, you can just use your full email and your normal password that same one as for Edmentum. And once you get into there, you'll see all your emails, and you also have what's called the waffle button up here, called that for obvious reasons. If you click that, you will see a drop down of all the apps that you have access to. Your computer should have things like Microsoft Word and Excel already downloaded, but you also have access to some of the other things. And if for some reason the downloaded version stops working for any reason, you can always go to your browser here and go to your mailbox, hit the waffle button, and you can always get to Word in the cloud. It's not quite as convenient, and some of the features aren't quite as nifty, but it will work in a pinch. and you'll definitely be able to do your assignments that way in an emergency. That'll be it for this. As always, if you have any questions at all or any difficulty, my contact information is on the screen. If you're calling my phone, you'll have to dial the board office number here first, and then it'll ask if you know your party's extension, press 7. So you'll press 7, and then my 4-digit extension is 4125. Thank you very much, and I'll see you later.